Hello everyone, welcome back to the Manchu grammar course, and this is How to Die. Today we're going to learn about the existential sentence in Manchu. In English, existential sentence equal to there be. For example, there is a station on the roadside, or there are some pictures on this page, and so on. And in Manchu, we express these kind of things with this formula. Place the subject be. The is the, if you still remember, the is the case mark of locative, which means the noun phrase before it is the location where an event happens. And be is a verb for exist. So literally this means in somewhere something exists. So the previous two examples could be expressed in Manchu like and and if you're not familiar with the case mark de and the locative case, please check the link below this video for a previous lesson. And link be. There's a link below. Alright, if you are familiar with this case, locative case, let me ask a question. How do we distinguish, say, the ball is in the box, and the ball is on the box, and under the box, and whatnot? I mean, how do we distinguish the different spatial relationship between the place and the object? Well, in Manchu, we have to give the information of the detail of position before appending the case mark de. So we have to say kazi nongut momhobi, or kazi durgod momhobi, or kazi fujurgod momhobi, and so on. But well, if I only say kazad momhobi without giving the position in detail, what does it mean? And in fact, this is most cases you will hear or read in Manchu. Have a guess then. So just for this sentence, kazad momhobi, if you guess this is the ball is in the box, well done. Congratulations. But why? I think it's presumably because the inner room of this box is where you're most likely to place that ball, to put that ball in, right? So let's say there is a default place for every container to hold objects. For a box, the default place is the inner room, is the inner space. And for a desk or table, is the surface on top of that. And for a paper, is the two-dimensional space for writing, and so on. So if the object is right at the default place, then we don't need to give any extra information about the detail of the position. We just use the place in the locative form, locative case. For example, if there is a knife on the sofa, so the surface of the sofa is where we usually sit on. So if we just put a knife on that surface, we just say shafat kujibi, which means there's a knife on the sofa. But, well, if the knife is not on the surface but hidden inside the sofa, well, it's a scenario of Sherlock Holmes. But anyway, if in that case, we have to give an information about the place where we put the knife is the inner room. So we have to say Shava durgot kujibi. Alright, then the next point is about negative. To express negative, say there is no something in somewhere, or there is nothing in somewhere. we replace the word be with 않고, which literally means not exist. For example, 다치르봇 난 않고. There is nobody in the classroom. 드짓 나스고 않고. There is no chance for them. Manchu 기준 have 기준 않고. There is no word for have in Manchu. This is not just an example sentence, but something important you have to learn. That is, there is no word for have in Manchu. So to express something, someone has something, we just use the same construction of place the subject be or 않고. But we have to change a little bit about the roles of them, of the noun phrase. So we have subject, the object, be or 않고. Just like in English, we have two ways of expressing this meaning, this sense. We can both say, there is no word for have in Manchu, or Manchu doesn't have a word for have, right? But in Manchu, we just have one way. We just have the former way. So everything about have is considered in Manchu as an existence. For example, 민드음 두비, which means I have a younger brother. So literally, it means there is a younger brother at me. Right? It sounds a little bit weird, but it works in Manchu. And all of the subject or object or the place could be either physical object or non-physical object or ideal objects. For example, 치말 문 귀찮고. We don't have lessons tomorrow. So here, lesson is a non-physical object, right? But it still works. Okay, let's do some exercise. Again, I will show you some vocabulary you need, and you are supposed to translate these sentences. There is a chimney on the roof. Number 2, there's no fish in the river. Number 3, I have a question. Number 4, my teacher doesn't have time. Okay, feel free to have a pause and I will just go ahead. So the answers are: number 1, boy 농굿 호란비. Number 2, 비랏 님가 않고. Or you can say 비랏 듀르굿 님가 않고. Because, well, I'm not sure whether the inner room of a river could be considered a default place, but anyway, you can say in both ways. Okay, then number 3, mind 분진비. So this is a very common use phrase in Manchu when you want to ask questions. So just have a try if you want to ask in the future. Okay, number 4, min servet solo ako. Alright, today's summary. So we have learned the formula of existential sentence in Manchu is place the subject be or ako. Be for positive and ako for negative. Then number 2, we learned that there is no word for have, and we use the same construction, the same formula to express have. Okay, so if you have any question about today's lesson, just leave a message with the phrase you've learned. Which one again? 민듬 펜진비. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.